What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the 208 Night 2. Getting ready for Locked In for this weekend. We've got lots to talk about. Our start sits. We've got NFL news to talk about. No chance tonight, but that's okay. This one's for him. Let's get into it right now. Yep, get on in here. File on in. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. We're here to help you. That's everything. That's the only reason why we exist. We want you to win your fantasy football league. Get those bragging rights. So file on in. Let's get locked in right now. Justin, how are you doing this evening?
Another day. Closer to Friday night. Get some high school football in. We got Thursday night football tomorrow. Just ready for the football week to start. Super excited.
Yep, it's essentially here, right? It's Wednesday night, and then we're ready to roll. So, yep. I don't know, lots going on. I brought it up. Chance, no chance tonight. He's taking the night off. We'll let him do his thing, and we got him covered. So, well, let's jump right into it. Might be a short one tonight, but let's jump into it. Let's get into the news right now.
What's going on?
What do you have for us, Justin, going on in the NFL?
So I'll start off with the really bad news here. Nico, leading receiver in the NFL, on IR, hamstring trick. That 70-yard touchdown that he never came back. They said it was day-to-day. They're like, all right, we're putting him on IR.
It's rough.
It's tough, just a really young player having a really good year. Just tough to see him go out like that. Devontae Adams is apparently a Raider. Antonio Pierce came out and said he's always been a Raider. He'll always be a Raider. So I don't know how this saga is going to play out, if he gets traded or not. He's not playing this week again because of his hamstring. So we'll see. I don't know if it's a hamstring or they're just waiting to see, trying to drive up that price again. They do want a second. Aaron Jones is week to week. They have a bye, though, so that's really good timing for him to get. I mean, if there's a good time to get hurt, it's right before your bye. So gets a full week. Maybe you only miss him for a week. Russell Wilson, Matt, what do you think is going to happen with this quarterback situation? Mike Tomlin said some weird stuff about maybe Russell Wilson starting in Pittsburgh. I don't know why they would turn to him.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I mean, it's not like Steelers have been horrible. I mean, right? Fields has been awesome. Maybe they want a little bit more out of the passing game. Maybe. I'm not sure. I think it's just worth monitoring. Like you said there, he's practicing. He's getting to get involved. It's kind of what we worried about, the quarterback controversy over the entire year. I think we all liked Fields a little bit more in fantasy because of his rushing upside, but I don't know. Keep a close eye on it. I still like Fields better. We'll see how it goes.
I think it'd be a weird transition that Fields says he's played well. Like, even from an NFL standpoint, I think he's played really well. Like, why would you switch? He's younger. Like, you can develop him. It seems like he is more Pittsburgh-y than he's just like tough dude, like grind out stuff. And Russell doesn't seem that way. So I don't understand I don't like the Steelers, but I'd like to see Fields keep getting a shot. Michael Pittman Jr., again, I don't have a ton of shares of him. He's out for multiple weeks. I think
good news for Downs.
Yeah, I think if you did have him, you probably weren't starting him in this offense due to Anthony Richardson not passing a ton. We get to see two rookies this week, which I'm super excited. We get to see Rattler and Drake May, which super excited to see both those guys go off and hopefully play well. And it's fun watching rookie quarterbacks, so that'll be a good one to watch. Kittle is playing this week. It seems like O'Connell is taking over this job for the time being. I can see another switch, maybe another two switches by the time we get done with this. Neighbors is still in concussion protocol, which is tough. And then Romeo Doubs, if any of you guys looked on Twitter today, just had a super weird interaction with his head coach. He's a good player. It seems like the Packers just have a ton of weapons. I don't know how this relationship's going to go. It seems like a lot of people are in the market for a wide receiver. Maybe he's a trade candidate. Who knows? And then AR5 is still the starter in Indianapolis.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't think AR5 lasts very long if they don't get wins. They have to win. If not, Flacco takes that job, which would be good for some of those wide receivers Downs and so on and so forth. So I did want to bring up the Watson. There is some speculation Watson may get benched. The Browns faithful they are starting to beat the drum of sitting Watson and getting, is it Winston?
Jameis Winston, baby.
They want Winston in there. They're tired of we're all tired of Watson. I'm so tired of talking about that guy. He's done. It's the worst trade in history. You mentioned yesterday their cap space will be just brutal. So
$172 million in dead cap. Someone was mentioning on Falcons Twitter, just because I'm a Falcons guy. It's like if the Browns keep losing, like they're gonna have to blow it up. Like realistically, you're gonna have
they do.
Yep. They're like, why don't the Falcons go after Myles Garrett, which would be so sweet. Would love it.
Be fun. So that is our news for this evening. Let's jump right into the meat and potatoes. This is where you win your leagues right here. So I hope you're paying attention. I hope you're locked in, and we're going to get this thing going right now. So let's get into it. So it's our week 6 starts and sits. And Justin, this is kind of fun. So we always like to review what we call that last week. So our stardoms. Not bad. Our goal is 60%. Our goal is 60%. So Justin was 50-50, I was 50-50, and Chance was 75%. Thanks you, Chance, for getting us over that 60%. But because we'll cover this.
That Tucker Kraft call out, he had a really good game.
Yes, he did. He did. So, and because we are 60%, you're welcome. So hopefully you follow us a little bit. Fields, I wanted him to play. He fell to 16th overall, so not horrible, but he's outside the top 12. We got to finish top 12 to get us there. Watson, I still don't know why you picked Watson, but I think Watson is officially dead to you, and that's okay. Harris was a tough one in that matchup last week, and I don't know what their running game is. That's Arthur Smith. You're rolling with your own dice. So the 2 tight ends in the tight end world right now, it's a mess. So we were able to get 1 out of the 3.
I didn't use rough.
To sit them. If you're sitting them, hey, not bad, Justin. I'm going to do this one for you.
I didn't really bad. I went bold.
My bad on this one.
I went bold.
You did bold, and my goodness, Murray was a top 5, Hubbard was a top 3, and Pitts was a top 6. You did tell him to sit Hill, which was really tough, but he was 31. And hopefully you guys sat Mahomes. Tough to sit Mahomes, and I don't think Chance was saying that you should sit him. He just said understand expectations, and he crushed the Achane one, who finished 55 because of the injury. He missed out on Watson.
Matt, you were basically perfect. The ETN thing was, I get it, but it seems like he just lost his job this week, so we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and the reason why I said it was a negative on the ETN is because he's got to be outside the top 24 because you usually start 2 running backs. So the rest of these guys, I told you Dalton is one of those guys. The red rifle looks good for a couple weeks, then he disappears, and that's what happened. Anyway, Deontay Johnson was going against the Bears, and I told you Gesicki, who, again, we brought him up probably for the final time on a show. he was no good. He's pretty much in my opinion.
Go off this week to prove us wrong now. 100%.
Yeah, pretty much. Again, hey, if you're watching, leave us a comment. Get in here. Let us know what your thoughts are. We just want you to win your league. So let's get it right into it, Justin. We're going to go with our QB stardoms right now. And your first guy, Cousins. Why do you like Cousins?
Let's go, baby. I just feel like I always compound on the chances thing. So he seems to be coming into his stride with Zach Robinson's offense. Seems like they're starting to put it together a little bit. Panthers defense is not good. They're 26th against, 27th against quarterbacks. Every quarterback that has played the offense has a minimum of 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, except for Herbert, which I believe he might have got hurt in that game. I can't remember, but he still had 2 touchdowns and 151 yards. Really good game. The pieces are coming together for that Falcons offense. O-line should be a little bit stronger with Caleb McGarry. His second game coming back. I think they should. I think this is either going to be a huge Bijan game or they're going to throw the rock around and it's going to be over quick. Maybe we get Penix this week because we hopefully score a bunch of points on him and Penix get some live snaps. That would be awesome.
Yeah, the one thing I'd say about Cousins too, he has. I think you mentioned this yesterday. but he has started to look better and better each week. It's like he's getting more confidence. I don't, it's like starting to feel more comfortable on that injury. So it's like, okay. So I think it's a good thing. I don't know that the Atlanta will live and die by him. But everything to me as of right now runs through him. We all think it should run through Bijan, right? For sure. But Cousins looks good right now, which benefits our pass catchers, London and Pitts. So, which is good.
Yep.
And as a reminder, the ranking is points or fantasy points per game is what that is in their ranking. So the Cousins is going up against a Panthers defense that's ranked 27th, which isn't very good out of 32 teams. So a great pickup there. Moving on to Love, Justin, I'm going to have you do Chance's Love pick here. Why does he like Love against the Cardinals?
I'm guessing just because it feels like the Cardinals defense is just really bad. Hopefully with the Romeo Doubs news, hopefully he gets his guys back, man. Like this offense it's just hard to prepare for. They got Josh Jacobs, they got Tucker Kraft, who, man, like he's real close to Brock Bowers right now. That game, he popped off that game. Like the Cardinals defense just isn't good. They just never play well. I don't understand it. Kyler, we'll see what happens. Hopefully this turns into what like maybe Thursday night was. Good shootout game between these two teams.
Yeah, I think it'll be a shootout as well. I hope it's a shootout because that makes the games fun. And I mean, you could have fantasy relevance on from both teams here. Both teams could have good outcomes. So I am rolling with Caleb Williams. Maybe he's starting to turn a corner here. Look, I think the main thing to look with Caleb is he's not been really good on the deep ball through the whole season. We started to see it a little bit better with DJ Moore. Maybe they're starting to find a little bit of rhythm, and they're going up against this Jaguars defense, which is very mediocre. And I think they can keep the ball rolling. In addition to check down passes to Swift, which I'm a little secret on that one. So I think it's okay to roll with Williams. I think he could be a top 12 guy this week. We'll see how it goes. I'm comfortable rolling him out there against this very porous Jaguars defense.
He's got a good stretch of games, and like again, if he would have got that rushing touchdown, he probably finished as a top 5 guy on the week. Like that touchdown got called back on a holding. Like he's been really well with his legs as well. Just a really good, pleasant surprise.
Yep, I would love him to move up the QB rankings as a Bears fan. So.
Yep.
QBs to sit this week, and you are going heavy.
I'm going heavy.
Okay, what do we go with? Allen against the Jets. Let us know. Fill us in.
Gosh, he's had a rough couple of weeks. Like that concussion was rough. Like if you guys go back and go and watch that play, like he slammed his head. Like it was really bad. So I feel like this game's gonna go 1 or 2 way for the Jets. Okay, just real quick. So he had 7.3 points against Baltimore, quarterback 28, and then last week he was quarterback 19 with 16 points. I think he still gets you 12 to 18. But it's not gonna be typical Josh Allen. Like I'm in a league dilemma where do I start Baker or do I start Josh Allen? And it's probably gonna go down the wire. I don't know who I'm gonna do yet, but I don't know how this Jets team's gonna respond. Like every time after a coach is fired, you almost see like a huge emotional bump in play, like for a week or two. So I think we might get that out of the Jets a little bit, like a renewed energy, whatever it is, and maybe they just go out here and hammer the Bills. But like Josh Allen. It was tough, and he's playing against the number 2 passing defense. They have Sauce. Again, I'm kind of down on this offense this week. He hasn't been super consistent. I think just temper your expectations. Like obviously, if you have Josh Allen on your team, you're probably gonna have to go out there and start him. Again, I'm gonna swing for the fences like I always do with these guys. But that's kind of where I'm at. I might start Baker. Like if I had Caleb, it would be kind of hard. Like. To go either way. If I had Jaden Daniels, I'd probably start Jaden Daniels, like stuff like that. That's how I feel.
I think here's a good stat here, and again, it's fantasy points per game. The Jets are number 2 against quarterbacks, and they are number 6 against wide receivers. Right, so that the run they're a little bit less. They're not as good, but they're really good against passing attacks. So. And I'm with you. I don't know what the Bills are yet. I mean, they try to spread it around, but we'll see. We'll see. This one's a little bit of roll of dice, but I like where you're going with it.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, I think, is a pretty easy one. I mean, you're going
Yeah.
against the Bears that are number one
100%.
against QBs, and they have been for the last couple of weeks. They look really good, and the Jaguars just have not looked good. So this one's an easy sit. If you have him, if you have somebody else like a Baker or somebody, I think it's worth throwing him in.
I think as a pod, we're still out of this Jaguars offense, even though they had a really good week last week. I mean, probably the only guy that I'm in on is Brian Thomas. He just looks like a stud. I'm super out on Trevor Lawrence.
Yep. My guy is Geno, and that is not correct. They have him as number 4 against them. It's actually number 14, San Francisco against quarterbacks. Where Geno has struggled from what I've seen is getting the ball out quick, and I think San Francisco is going to bring a ton of pressure against Geno. And Geno's looked good, man. He's throwing the ball all over the place. But there are other players that I like better than Geno this week. I don't think he's going to finish out inside the top 12. I think he finishes outside against a really good and now hungry San Francisco team that just let one get away.
Pissed off. This team should.
Yeah,
they're already down 2 games in the division.
They're frustrated.
You know who they have after this week? Kansas City.
Yeah,
they got to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. This is a big game, and I wanted to pull up here just some other guys that I would start this week. Baker for sure. Yeah. I might even start Daniel Jones over Geno this week.
I get that.
I think that's fair, and this one's a little bit more of a stretch, but maybe even Bo Nix. So that's just why I don't like Geno.
You're pretty out on him. That's what it sounds like.
Yep, this week for sure. So moving on to our running back stardoms. Yeah. This one's a no-brainer, Justin. I can't believe you put this one in there, but all right, fill us in. Why do you like him?
He's been so bad. I'm just waiting for him to have a game. Like, it's so funny doing my research. I was just looking up points allowed by this Bills team to running backs. First week was 29. Second week was 28. Third week was 12. The next week was 62. That was the Derrick Henry week. And then the week after that was 23. So Brees should have 25 points. This should be lock it in, forget it. Like, this is the game he has to go off. This is the game the Jets should be high emotion. Everybody should be on their P's and Q's. Your head coach just got fired. Like, let's figure this out right now, okay? Give Brees the ball. Please. Give him the ball. Feed him the ball. And just let him go off. Let him do what Brees does. Let him rip an 80-yard one off because we know he can do it. The Jets need to win this game just like the 49ers need to win this game. This is a very important game for them.
This is so easy. I could coach the Jets this week. I could go in. Yes, I coach football, but I could go to the Jets this week. The Bills are dead last in fantasy points per game to running backs. Dead last. All I'm going to do, and I don't care what Aaron Rodgers says, you're just going to turn around and hand the ball off to Brees. That's all you're going to do. The entire game. It's a no-brainer.
Braylon.
The Bills defense is yes, sure, either one, but it better be a 3-1 split for Brees because Brees is just so good, and even with a horrible offense last year, man, they crushed it. So yeah, Brees was awesome. So no-brainer there. Josh Jacobs, 25 going against the Cardinals. I think what Chance would say, this is probably going to be a shootout. Everybody's going to get a little bit, and if the Packers go up, they're going to put the ball on the ground, let Jacobs get 20 carries against that pretty porous Cardinals defense.
He should get some work in the receiving game too. Get you some nice easy points with some receptions if you're in a full PPR.
Yep. And I think
I'm excited to hear this next one. Excited to hear about your boy.
Yeah, I'm going with Swift. You know what? He's proved me wrong the last 2 games, and if I like Caleb, I think I have to like Swift against a very bad Jaguars defense. So if you have him, roll him out there. Doesn't mean I'm not still trying to trade him. I'm just saying if I got him, I'm going to put him out there. I think this will be a good week. I think the flip side to that, I said I would still trade him. This is tough because Chance brought up a good point. For the next few weeks, he's got a very good schedule. Maybe you go buy him at a reasonable price. I'm not saying sell a farm for him, but if somebody's giving in a discount, pick him up, throw him in your lineup, and then see if you can get rid of him in a couple weeks. Yeah. So I like Swift. I think you got to put him out there. He's going to be up inside the top 24 easy, in my opinion. Moving on to our sits here. That one's tough. Brian Robinson Jr. Why you like Brian Robinson Jr. in the sit column this week?
I feel like this is more Matt than me. Like, I thought this Washington offense was going to be bad, and they have 3 valuable running backs in this backfield. Like, Brian Robinson's snap share last week was 34%, almost half of what he has the last couple games. 2.5 yards a carry. Like, I get it against Cleveland, but he's played Baltimore, who might be better than Cleveland. I think this game could be a shootout just because Baltimore's passing offense isn't great. So do they put Eckler in there more? Do they put McNichols in there, who's had a great 2 weeks out of Boise State? Love it. Like, love that he's killing it. Do they just like, hey, we're gonna throw the ball freaking 57 times and we're gonna use these 2 backs that catch the ball really well? Again, Baltimore has a stout run defense. So I mean, Brian Robinson has been so good this year. I mean, basically 5 finishes in the top 24, which is what you want. Got him for super cheap. He has 2 compared to Baltimore and Cleveland, easy weeks the next 2 weeks. But man, I'm not too sure about him this week.
Yeah, and I don't know. For some reason, I'm just kind of checking right now. It feels like they're kind of going by committee, whoever's got the hot hand as far as running backs. I really don't think Eckler is. I think Eckler's actually working his way out of a job, in my opinion. He's touched the ball just as much as many times as McNichols, and I think in Jeremy McNichols is really just playing better. So, but I do agree that it's tough to run against Baltimore. This is more about Baltimore's defense than the running game of the Commanders. So I agree with you. It's tough to start him. I did pick up McNichols in a couple of leagues just because I'm like, he's playing so well. And if I get an opportunity to roll him out there, maybe I will. I'm not doing it this week, but maybe if he does good this week, hey, maybe we're on to something. So
it seems like they trust Jayden Daniels a lot to just sling that ball around, and he's very good with, like, he's just very good completion percentage wise. So
100%. And I don't know what his rushing. Let's take a look at Jayden Daniels just rushing stats here. I mean, he's already in 5 games. Yeah, which right, 5 games. He's rushed for 300 yards already and 4 TDs.
Sheesh.
So he's very good at running the ball, and we knew that already. So
he's part of their running game. I thought basically 10 carries a game. Jeez.
Yep. 57 carries for 300 yards. So kid's super athletic, and I think we talked about Jayden Daniels early on. The kid was going to be elite. I think I was very high on him. I think we all were, and with tying to Cliff Kingsbury, there you go. I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer. So, and we figured they'd be in a ton of shootouts. So, Dowdle, this one surprised me a little bit, and you can certainly just flip a coin, but I think it has more to do with the Lions' defense, which is ranked number 3, than it does with Dowdle potentially getting 20 carries. Lions are way more vulnerable against the pass than they are the run. So I certainly understand why you would want to just sit Dowdle, see what he does. Maybe he has a good game. We don't think he will. They're going to probably have to air this thing out and kind of go from there. Agree, disagree?
No, I think you should trade him this week. Like, again, like we all said it, like 20 carries, 87 yards. Like, that's awesome to see. But like, that's a jag, just another guy. Like, every running back in the NFL should be able to do that. Like, these guys are all supremely athletic, and like there's a few of them that are just super freaks. But like, I don't think this Dallas run game is good. Like, they just had they had a weird game against Pittsburgh. So I mean, the reason he was the running back 3 on the week was because he caught a touchdown. Like, that was the biggest denominator. So
yep. ETN, the Bears are kind of a low end on their rushing defense, but they're still a good defense. And if the Bears get up, right, the Jaguars are going to have to throw. And so I don't think that's going to include ETN. I think Bigsby is starting to, well, we know he is. He's cutting into that workload. And ETN, there's reports of him maybe already being injured or maybe being a little injured, banged up. I'm just not. This Bears defense is too good. The game script's going to be bad. He's just not going to be worth it. Put him on your bench, sit him. Definitely not worth it.
Yep, I agree.
Starting wide receivers, and I love it. I love the wide receivers. I think we've got some really good ones this week. Dell is your guy, and I love that pick this week.
Okay, so there's going to be some contradictory things that I say these next two slides. Okay, I just want everybody full understanding of why. I told you guys last week when we did start sits. What I look for in wide receivers is what corners are they going to play, and it's New England and it's Denver. Okay, so Nico Collins is out, the number one with the Texans. He's out for 4 weeks. Tank Dell's coming back. Tank Dell is CJ's, seems like best friends forever, all that stuff. Tank should be 80 to 90% back. This Texans offense is great. CJ Stroud is a dude. He's going to be a top 5, top 8 quarterback the rest of his life in the NFL. Not fantasy wise, but just relevant dude. I think they're going to put my boy Christian Gonzalez on Stephon Diggs because Stephon Diggs has had a better year than Tank Dell. He catches a ton of touchdowns. I think that's their game plan is, hey, let's just take this dude away, see what they can find, get the mismatches with Tank Dell against whatever corners they put on it. That is my full-fledged feeling on this game. I think the Texans win. I hope May goes off because I'm a big Drake May guy. Like, I think he's a good player. This O-line of the Patriots scares the crap out of me that they're going to ruin him. But, man, I think Tank Dell, I think this is like, all right, there's Tank Dell from last year.
Yep, I like it. He's sneaky. Everybody's worried about an injury. He's too small, this, that, and the other, but he just needs opportunities, right? I think he was banged up a little bit last week or the week before and kind of got back in, but I agree with you. As much as I do like Diggs, the value to me for Dell is way better. I think, Diggs right now ranked number 10 and Dell is 35, right? And I'm going to put it out there, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to put it out there. But I believe Dell will outscore Diggs in fantasy points this week. So put that down. I like it. DJ Moore is an easy one. Look, we've already been preaching. We already told you Caleb. We already told you Swift. Now Chance likes DJ Moore. I like it.
The Jaguars start defense.
Yeah, the defense is just horrible. I think DJ Moore is like even rated as a top 10 wide receiver this week. I saw him at 8. So he's an easy plug and play. I think what we're saying is get every piece of this Bears offense in there, and you should be rewarded. Yeah. Mooney is a guy. Mooney, you have to put Mooney in.
He's a
when
star.
you think of when you think of Mooney, everybody thinks him as a wide receiver 3. Everybody and their dog thinks him as a wide receiver 3. I'm telling you, he's putting up wide receiver 2 numbers. He is a guy that you have to get in there. I like him better right now than I like Devontae Smith.
Yep.
Right. He's crushing Waddle. Right. You have to understand. Those are big names. Mooney is a guy that you have to play. He has been that over the middle. I don't want to say check down, but kind of like you got London going long, opening up the middle in that too high shell. There's Mooney getting a first down, and he's just been so consistent holding on the ball. And now he's playing
he's our Calvin Ridley. Like that's what he's in our offense. He is that dude. So consistent. Like he's wide receiver 15 on the year. Like
that's what I'm telling you.
1. Like I get he had a huge game, and like he should have had a touchdown last game. Like he's a stud.
But again, everybody thinks him as a wide receiver 3. Oh, he's my flex option, or he would be my 3rd wide receiver in those leagues. I'm telling you, you have to get Mooney in. Put Mooney in the lineup, pencil it in, stamp it, whatever, mail it, get Mooney in, and he's gonna definitely score you some points this week.
Yep.
Moving on to our wide receiver sit-ems. Diggs. So you just talked about it. So you went Dell start, Diggs that you're sitting. You can let you elaborate.
I don't have to elaborate too much on this. I think Christian Gonzalez is on this guy. So Christian Gonzalez absolutely waxed Tyreek Hill last week. Like, I get he wasn't playing with the quarterback, but Christian Gonzalez was running like step for step with Tyreek Hill. Like, he's a freak. He's a freak corner. He's really close to Patrick Surtain for me, at least. So Tyreek had 3 catches. So he allowed 3 catches for 55 yards in man coverage. against Tyreek Hill. We can all agree that Tyreek Hill is a better receiver than Diggs, and just a better overall athlete at this point in their career. He also had an interception against him as well. So I think they're going to try to avoid Christian Gonzalez.
Yep, I agree. Agreed. Chances put down JSN. JSN's tough. God, the guy's so elite, and it's just hit and miss. He didn't do well last week. Against the San Francisco again. We already kind of talked a little bit about it. They're going to be they're out for payback on anybody who gets in their way. So I'm okay sitting JSN. It's hard to sit him. Probably can play him as a flex. He's not going to finish inside the top 24. Probably finish inside the top 32. If I had Downs or JSN, I'm probably playing Downs instead of JSN this week, assuming AR5 is not the quarterback. So just keep that in mind.
He's just super sporadic. It feels like 2 targets, 16 targets, 3 targets, 12, 7. But like his yards per catch aren't crazy. Like he's had one game above 13 yards per catch, which is not great.
We had hoped he'd be a little bit more yards per catch, but he's been that check down guy. He's been that underneath guy. Or at
least some yards after catch, you know?
Yeah, it's just not. It's like he's getting to the sticks, catch it, go down, right? That's really all it is.
Yeah.
I think this one's pretty easy. Olave is ranked at 21 in a lot of wide receiver rankings around there. I'm just staying away from this Saints offense. They're going against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense pretty darn good. They're not elite, but they're still pretty good. I do like Rattler. I might be wrong on this one, and Rattler could go off, which would be cool. I would be okay being wrong this one, but I'm probably sitting Olave. I really don't have any shares of him. But if I have him, just you're kind of hoping and praying that Rattler does something.
Do you think his value increases with Rattler or decreases? It seems like Derek Carr has like a Shaheed thing. Like they're boys.
Well, so what does Derek Carr do best? Everywhere he's been, just drop back and throw the deep ball. That's why Devontae Adams wanted to go to Oakland, right? That's why he wanted to be with the Raiders, or I guess Vegas now. But it was to throw the deep ball, get it out there, and say, "Hey, there you go, have fun, go get it." And that's with Shaheed. That's been his role. Olave has not been that way, and he was a couple of years ago when Shaheed wasn't there, but now it's like, maybe he gets a little more balls this year. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they mesh together.
Yep.
Like, because Carr should be out probably 3 to 4 weeks is my guess.
Yes, he will be. Anyway, sit Olave. I'm okay with it. Tight ends, we've beat this up to a dead horse. These poor tight ends are so rough. We're just telling you who to start. Andrews has been tough, but you're okay starting him against in Washington. I'll let you elaborate on that one.
I saw a little glimpse of regular Mark Andrews last week, which is very, very, very like intriguing. So Andrews got dropped in a lot of my leagues. I just went out and grabbed him. I was like, I'll grab a second tight end. I don't care. He finished tight end 18, 5 targets, 4 yards. I mean, five targets, 4 receptions, 55 yards. Awesome. That's kind of what we need. The one thing that keeps me getting brought up about Andrews is like the commentators keep talking about how good his run blocking is, and people are like, "Can you just stop run blocking well? Just throw him the ball." But it's like he's not coming off the field. I think this Washington game will just be a throw fest. Like they have. I just hope this is his game. Like I just have faith in Mark Andrews. I have faith in the talent that he should be decent. Like the Washington defense has allowed a little bit of points. So 10, 2, and 11 the last 3 games. Again, those not crazy fantasy points, but at this rate, you'll take 8s and 10s right now. So I think this game should be a shootout between Jayden Daniels and Lamar Jackson. It should be a really fun game.
And this one's hard, and I certainly understand why you want to have Andrews in here, and you're hoping it because he ends up being the number 1 target, right? Because right? Does that make sense? So you'll notice you see 5 fantasy points per game ranking. There's number 5 for Washington, right? So it appears that they're really good against the tight end. No, it's because they give up everything to everybody else, and they don't need to throw it to the tight end. The running backs are good, the quarterbacks are good, the wide receivers are good. They don't really need to throw to the tight end, so therefore,
fast enough.
They don't even need to throw the tight end. So that's kind of why it looks like they're really good against the tight end. I think we're just hoping that Andrews ends up being a target to get some catches. So and you could probably go Andrews / Likely this week. Is that fair? Yeah. Schultz against the Packers. Chance has got him here. So he wants you to go ahead and start him. The not Packers, but the Patriots are number 19 against the in the rank. So for fantasy points per game. So it's hard to.
He should.
It's hard to say.
He goes out, another target's out. Like he should get some stuff. Nico was a big part of that offense.
Yeah, I agreed, and he was a big part of it last year when there was only 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
So now that you got a guy out, another target for sure. And then I told you to pick up Cade Otton, and if you picked him up and you're suspect at tight end, I would plug him in. Saints are not real great against the tight end. That defense is still pretty good, but I think he'll definitely get some looks this week, and that should be a good game. That Tampa Bay Saints game is from a defensive offensive standpoint. I don't know about the other way around, but I do like that game. I think that I'm intrigued by that game for sure.
Yep.
Moving into our sits. I'm not sitting Kincaid, but I certainly understand why you want to sit him.
Yeah. Again, it's the same situation with Josh Allen. I don't know if you could afford to sit him because you probably invested too much draft capital in him. But like, temper your expectations. They're third against the tight ends. Josh Allen is kind of iffy. Again, I've talked about how the Jets should respond in this game. I think this is a direct correlation. I'm not out on Josh Allen, and I'm not out on Dalton Kincaid. I just think this is going to be a low-scoring game with the Jets leaning on their run game.
Yep, I agreed. Ferguson here. Chances got Ferguson. He wants you to sit him against the Lions. The Lions are pretty tough against the run, not so much against the pass, although they are number 10 against tight ends and fantasy points per game. So this one's intriguing to me. I feel like it's a coin flip. I think you could either or, but I trust Chance's assessment on that one. And Noah Fant, I know you probably don't have him ranked really high. I have him higher ranked than most, like well above Gesicki, more than Ertz, probably a little bit higher than Schultz, close to that Likely Otton. So he's close to that 12, 13, 14 range. So if you have him, I'm probably not playing him. He's been a little bit banged up. And again, he's going against that 49ers defense that's out for revenge. So I would much, much rather play like Isaiah Likely or in Otton really than Fant. I'm okay with sitting Fant. It's just tough.
Yeah, for sure. That is a rough this year. Sheesh.
Yeah, incredibly tough. We did not see that coming. Nobody in industry saw that coming. I promise. Nobody said the tight ends were going to be not very good this year.
It's true.
Well, shoot, Justin, that is our starts and sit-ems this week. And again, we're hoping to get you 60%, 70%, right? So, and we can crush this thing, help you win your fantasy leagues.
Hope I'm not the crapper this week, so that'd be great. So, I just quit bold guys. Like when I see stuff, like I want to see high rate guys, and I'm like, you know what? Like this guy's not gonna have a good week, and like I was just wrong, and like that's just the way it goes. But we'll try again this week. That's the great thing about fantasy football, man. There's always different.
It's a week to week thing, and you love it, hate it, and love it and hate it, and up and yo-yos and downs and highs and lows, and that's why we love it. So again, if you're liking the show, please subscribe. Helps out the channel. We just like to have fun. We like to talk ball. Leave us a comment. And again, if you're in here with us live, we're in here live every Tuesday, Wednesday, talking ball. And give us your fantasy football teams. Let us know how you're doing. Let's see what we can do with help you some trades and some waiver wire pickups and kind of go from there. So,
yes, sir.
With that, Justin, I think we're going to call it a night. It's a quick one tonight, quick hitter. We'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Justin, any final words before we sign out?
There's just some really good games this week. Super intriguing matchups. A lot of divisional matchups. Like, I'm excited for tomorrow. Like, that should be a good game, that Thursday night game. But like, there's just some good games that Bills and Jets game will be fun to see how they respond and that kind of the drama filled. Does Aaron Rodgers just go out there and sling the ball around? Who knows? So.
Yep, I agree. If you are streaming a defense, you're not really streaming this defense, but 49ers, expect the 49ers to have put up plus 10 on your fantasy points this week. I see them double-digit fantasy points. And then I think for me, my game of the week this week is probably – I think it has to be the Lions-Cowboys game. I am very intrigued in that game. I am intrigued because I think the Cowboys need – they got to figure out what the heck's going on. There's some stuff going on. Lamb and they got to figure it out. Lamb and Prescott just seemed very frustrated. Prescott had 4 interceptions on the year. So
I'm super excited to watch this Washington and Baltimore game. 2 electric, probably the most electric quarterbacks in the game. Man, that's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, in with the new, out with the old. Maybe do I say that?
Jay Daniels is that dude. Jay Daniels.
He is. All right, guys. Hey, again, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, leave us a comment. We are all here for you. Until next time, we'll see you next week. Go get that W this week. Later, guys.